Okay, here's a cool example of using gopy for writing some code in Go and using it in Python. The reason this is especially cool is if you've ever used PostgreSQL from Python, you know you need to use the psycopg2 module. In order to install the psycopg2 module, you need to have Postgres installed on that computer, which is annoying because you may not want to have Postgres installed. You may be connecting to a remote server. Also, you have to not only deploy a virtual env or whatever to get psycopg2 on your production machine, you've also got to have PostgreSQL on that production machine in order to install psycopg2, even if your database server is separate. So this is a cool way to get around that. And also you get some of the expressiveness of Go as well. So here I have an empty directory, and the first thing I'm going to do is show you that I have a database set up running in Docker. So now I'm inside the Docker container. I name the user gopy, and there I have a gopy database. I have the font really big so it's easier for you to see. It's kind of ugly, but there you go. You see we have a public table named contact, and actually you can see it has an ID, a first and last. And there we have two users, and that's it. Let's just get out of here and we'll write a little Go program. So let's do a little shortcut I have here, and we'll import database SQL, which we'll need, and we'll import the Postgres library. And this is for an anonymous import because the database SQL package is what we're using, but by virtue of putting that there, we can do, so for example, you see SQL above, we're going to do SQL.open to connect to the database. We're not going to call pq.anything. But if the first argument to SQL.open is Postgres, then when this loads, it will call a function within database SQL and register itself as the handler for any connection starting with Postgres. So that's how we're going to do it. And we're going to do a URL. Username, which I made gopy. Password, I made the same for simplicity. It's running on localhost because we're running it in Docker, but we're port forwarding from Docker to localhost 5432. We want to connect to the database gopy, which I'm very unimaginatively using the same name for everything. We're going to disable SSL. Then actually, just for illustrative purposes, let's do this. And let's try running it. Got to the end. So it runs. Let's see if we mess it up. Let's try making the username Opie. Okay, so it still gets to the end because we're not doing anything to the database, so we should do a ping. So let's try that. Undefined. What did I do wrong? Oh. So unable to ping, role OPY does not exist. That's expected. So let's go fix that. So we're connecting to the database. Everything is good. Now let's actually change this to because that's just going to look a little nicer. Alright, so let's actually do something with this database. Now that we know we can connect to it, let's actually do a query. That should be good enough. Then we'll do the same thing here. And actually, for fun, let's misspell that. See what happens. Unused import. Rows declared and not used. Sorry. New variables. Alright, forget that. This is me making a lot of mistakes. So see, unable to query the database. So we know there's a problem there. And if we fix that, everything's good. So we are able to query the database. Now we'll do something with the rows. So for rows.next, let's just do something really simple. And I have to put this back to colon equals. So I see that I found 2 rows, but I don't have the data. So let's do it to make it look simpler. So from printf, that looks about right. What I do with row. Alright, contact 1, contact 2. Took a little longer than it should because I decided to get fancy, but so I open the database. If I can't, I log it. I ping the database. This is unnecessary. I could strip this whole thing out, but if I did, then here, let's just do that. Everything still works, but that's a good if your application's first starting up and you want to make sure you have a good database connection before your users actually do it, then that's a good plan. Do a query, and then for each row, print out some data. So that's it if I do go build. Now I have this gopy demo. I can just run it. I can put that out on the internet. People can use it. But let's say we want to use it from Python. What we do is make a couple small changes. Instead of calling it package main, I'll call it, what am I calling this, gopy demo? Yeah, that's the name of this. So instead of main, I'll call it gopy demo. And instead of calling this function main, we'll give it a name such as list contacts. Now it's not runnable by itself, but I can write other Go code and pull this in. Then with the gopy tool, I can type this. It takes just a minute, but then when it's done, it'll give me this SO file. And there it is. And so just to prove that I can do this outside of this directory, let's say Milo demo, and let's copy our SO file, which is C code. Milo demo. So here we are, we have nothing with this. So let's make, just for example, and because I'm a stickler for that, if we run IPython, we don't have psycopg2. So import hello, and I can type hello.hello, and it calls the function, right? I can also import gopy demo and call gopy demo dot list contacts, and there it is. Or I can call IPython, and from this is just standard Python stuff, and then so there. I have a Python function I can call. It's calling Go code in the background, and everything just works. I don't have Postgres installed on the machine. I do not have psycopg2 installed in a virtual env or anything, and that's awesome.